Today is March 13th. I'm at the lake cabin and I'm gonna work today on my garden, rebuilding the garden beds, and also I'm gonna have to trim the vine off my fence, the garden fence. Built a couple of bird nesting houses, put one up here on this corner and there's one on the far corner. They look like the cabin. So the next thing I'm gonna do is lay down some more cardboard that I brought out. And from this wood pile here, I'm gonna cut off the rotten pieces here so I can hopefully save the good part if there's any. And I'm gonna brush it with wood preservative, and hopefully that will give me enough wood at least to make one long bed here, and I don't have to buy too much wood right now. The wood is pretty expensive, especially the pressure treated wood. So I'm building the garden beds. This bed right here is going to be built out of 4-foot 2x4s. These are just scrap and leftovers, so I'm going to just go ahead and make one 24-foot by 4-foot bed here out of scraps. And then next to that there's going to be one made out of 2x4s as well. Those are back there on the pile. And then lastly, I'm gonna have a 5.5, I think, or was it 5.5 inch deep bed by the fence over there. What I did is, again, I took the old 10-inch wide planks that were halfway rotted, cut off the rotting pieces, and then I painted it with the treatment so it doesn't rot and insects are not gonna eat it. So now these are just drying here, so those are totally good to reuse. I think I have enough for a bed with some leftovers from the dock. These are 2x6s, so that will make a bed as well. So hopefully I actually have enough wood to make 3 24-foot and 4 feet wide beds going this way. So this is going to be, again, the 3 beds. One there, there's going to be one more here, and then last one here. And this section here is going to be the fruit section. So as I said before, this little guy going to move into that quadrant there. So there's going to be 4 trees here in this area, and then I'm going to have my grapes and raspberries going this way in the fruit section. Potomac Edison actually going to come and cut some dead trees. So one of the trees they're going to cut is that one. So that will definitely not have any shades casting during the day. The only shades right now casting is from that side. But summertime, it's only March 13th. Summertime, the sun goes higher. So I've been working on this wood saving journey all this time, just cutting and staining and cleaning up the leftover rotten wood. We're gonna burn that later. I still did not have time to cut these off, so my goal is to do that today as well. But at least one bed I want to put together today. Obviously, I'm still gonna have to get more cardboard. Probably it's gonna take me 2 more trips to actually cardboard this whole vegetable section. But I'm gonna get it done before it's too late. So this bed is gonna be for onions mostly, and I think some potatoes too. So I'm gonna want to finish that quickly because my first planting gonna be in that. And then the second bed, I think it's gonna have carrots and parsnips and more potatoes. And the third bed is gonna have sweet potatoes mostly and butternut squash. So that will be the last one, really. So I'm working my way from right to left, and I'm not trying to do everything all at once because it's just way too much. So this is where I am right now. I also winter pruned the fruit trees, and I did not move that fruit tree yet, so I gotta do that either next weekend or a week after that before too long, because they're gonna start blooming. I didn't do as much as I could have done perhaps, but I'm gonna finish this bed here and then I'm gonna call it a day. Probably clean this up here. See you next time.